Guys, what's up? It's Jasmine. Welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see from the title of the video and also from the thumbnail, I have a different sort of video that I decided to record for you guys today. I made this outfit. I'll put an image on the screen and also the image in the thumbnail for my birthday. This is past Jasmine, so today is only March 5th, 2019, but I am making this for my birthday, which is on March the 20th. I'm going to the LMA concert on March 18th in Atlanta, and I'm super excited, and I wanted to wear something really cute. And I decided to actually just go ahead and make myself an outfit since I know how. So yeah, that's what we're bringing to you today. So the piece that we're going to work on first is going to be the skirt portion of the outfit. So what I have here is actually the front piece. That's why it doesn't look like much. I just kind of wanted to show you guys what the front piece is supposed to look like as a whole before I break it down and show you guys how I did everything step by step. So the first thing that you want to do is measure out how long that you want your skirt to be. Mine is going to be 56 chains. So from the top, which is right here, to the bottom, which is down here, is 56 chains. Now, one thing I do want to address, as you can see right here, we did have a little bit of a mishap where I wasn't crocheting into my work properly. I'll show you guys how to avoid doing this in a second. But I did it at the bottom of the skirt, and I also did it up here at the top. You can't really see it at the top too bad, but you can definitely see it down here at the bottom, which is okay because we're gonna fix it. So the pattern that we're going to be doing is you're going to take the length of your skirt and you're going to crochet enough rows to measure from the left side of your waist to your right side. So for me, that ended up being 20 rows. As you can see here, so from right here to right here is 20 rows. When stretched, it ends up being the width of my waist. And then what you're gonna do is add these details right here on the side that are going to extend to form your hip. So for me, this is what I came up with. I did 5 additional rows with this technique on the side to get my hip curvature width, and I repeated that on the same side. And as you can see, the measurements do match up. So you want to make sure that when you're going across, everything matches up. Which, I mean, even if they don't, which they should, because you should have the same number of chains on the left and the right, even if they don't match up, you can hide that when you do sew your two pieces together because you're gonna connect them along the side. So I just wanted to show you guys what the front piece looks like first, and now I'm gonna show you guys how to go ahead and get started. The type of yarn that I'm using is Red Heart brand yarn. It is the Super Saver, I don't know why that came out so weird, jumbo black yarn. This is a weight 4 yarn, and it's recommended that you use a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, which is what I use right here. Mine is pink. I don't know what color yours would be. Or if you're going to be using knitting needles, it's recommended that you use 5 millimeter knitting needles. So like I said, the first thing that you want to do whenever you're starting any kind of new project, let me get in a better position to show you guys this. I'm sitting on my floor, and this is my first time ever recording a video like this. So please bear with me if my angles aren't all the way together. But the first thing that you always want to do is start with a slip stitch. Everybody kind of makes their slip stitches or slip knots a little bit differently, but that's how I do mine, and they always work out pretty fine. And you're going to chain out the length from your belly button to the bottom of where you want your skirt to hit. Now, to keep in mind, for my pattern, I will be adding a hem at the bottom. I'm going to be doing a different type of stitch at the bottom. So I just wanted to make note of that. But if you want to make it long, this can be floor length. You can make this a super mini skirt. This is going to be a mini skirt. You can make it knee length. You can make this however long you want. So for mine, I am going to do 56 chains. So as you can see here, I have my 56 chains. When you stretch it, you always want to measure your work stretched, because when you put on your piece, it's going to stretch. So it's going to look a lot shorter when you relax it, but when you stretch it out, it's going to lengthen out a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is go back on these 56 stitches with a double crochet. Now if you don't know what a double crochet is, that's fine. I'm going to kind of break it down for you, but I will have a link in the description bar down below of some more beginner friendly crochet videos that will break it down a little bit better for me, from how to create your chain to how to do a single crochet, double crochet, half double, all those different kinds of things. All right, so what you want to do after you measure your 56 chains, you want to squeeze the last chain that you've made. This is just to mark the chain. You could also use thread markers. They look like little paper clips, or you could, safety pins, or you could just use a safety pin. But for me, I'm just going to pinch my work and I'm going to add 2 chains. So you're gonna go chain 1, chain 2, okay? So for a double crochet, all you do is yarn over your work. So now you have 1, 2 loops, and then you're going to place this needle into the loop that you have pinched. So you're gonna insert, okay? You're gonna pick up your string in the back, pull through. Now you should have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops. So now you should only have 2 loops left. Then yarn over and pull through 2 again. Okay? So just to show you one more time, you're going to yarn over, go into the next chain, pull through. So you have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through those last 2. And one more time, you're gonna yarn over, insert into that chain, yarn over and pull through. Now you have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops again. So I'm gonna go ahead and complete this first row, and then I'll come back and I'll show you guys how to end your chain and turn your work. Okay, so I have done the length of the chain now, and excuse the fact that my nails are not manicured. I'm in dental assisting school and we cannot have our nails done, so they look like little nubs because this is what we have to have. Anyway, I'm on my last like 4 stitches, and so I decided to come back to show you guys how to properly turn your work to make sure that you don't get that little bow at the end and your work stays straight along the hem. So I'm just going to complete these couple of double crochets, and you're going to go all the way into the chain that's closest to your knot. Okay, so this is my second to last, and this guy is my last one. Okay, all right, so now that you have completed the entire chain on that row, you're going to chain 2, which is just yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and then you turn your work by just flipping. Okay, I feel like this pattern is very beginner friendly once you learn how to do the stitches, because it's not very complex. You do the same stitch throughout. So once you learn the double crochet, you're going to continue to do it for the whole project. The only time you're going to switch is I'm going to teach you how to do a slip stitch at the end, and you only do that a few times, and then a single crochet, which is easier than the double crochet. So this chain 2 that you just created at the end of your row serves as the first double crochet for this row. Okay, so when you began, this is row number 2, you chained 2, and I'm trying to give you guys the best look here. I know it's a little bit blurry, but let's see. So where my thumb is right here, closest to the hook, you guys can see that this is one stitch here. Now where my thumb is in my left hand, that is the second chain for that row. So to make it a little bit easier to look at, here's the first double crochet of that bottom row, and here's the second double crochet of that bottom row. Crocheting is basically just stacking all of these techniques one on top of the other for each row. So like I said, this chain 2 serves as the first double crochet for this row. So when you go to do your next one, you do not go on top of this first double crochet. You're gonna go into the second one. By doing that, you avoid adding an extra stitch, which is going to keep your work completely straight at the end. If I was to have put another one in here, it would bulk out a little bit, and that's what's gonna give you that bend in your work. So now I'm gonna go back along the entire chain 20 more times, well 19 more times, until I get a rectangle that is 56 chains tall and 20 chains wide. So I have made my 20 rows, as you guys can see here. So now we are going to start working on the hip portion of the skirt. So to start, you are going to chain 1 at the end of your row. You're going to take your hook, insert it into your chain, yarn over, and you're gonna pull through, and this is where it gets a little tricky. You're gonna pull it through this loop right here. It's gonna seem a little hard at first, especially with the first slip stitch that you do, but you're just gonna pull it through and end up with one loop on your hook. And you're gonna do that into the next 5 stitches for a total of 6. So that was 1, I'm gonna do 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 6. So once you slip stitch into that 6th stitch, that's a tongue twister, you're going to chain 1, and then you're gonna go back down your chain with double crochets all the way down. So what this is gonna do, it's gonna start to form that curve that I showed you in the first piece. I'll show you it again here. It's gonna start to form a curve like this, and every time you do it, it's going to form another curve. So like I said, you're gonna double crochet down, and when I get down to the end, I will show you guys what to do once you turn your work and come back up. Okay y'all, so I'm back. So I'm going to do my very best to explain to you guys what I just did. All right, so I zoomed in so you guys could see what I did. So this is the beginning of row number 20, or this is the end of row number 20. So as you can see, it's already starting to develop this curve look, which is exactly what we want. So once you crochet all the way down to the end, and I'm sorry I'm ashy, I've gone and taken a shower and stuff, so you know, and I forgot to put on some lotion, and I ain't really trying to put on no lotion right now anyway. So I'm gonna use this pen to kind of show you guys and point out what I did. Or actually, I guess I could just use my crochet hook. So I crocheted all the way down to the end of row number 20. And like I showed you guys, I slip stitched into the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. And then I began my double crochet again. So I double crocheted all the way down row number 21. I turned my work and crocheted all the way back up like we've been doing. And then here is where I get to explaining. So for row number 21, we slip stitched 6 stitches to create the first curve. So all we did was mimic that 6 stitch, it's a 6 stitch gap that we're creating between the beginning of the row and the double crochet. So here is the first 6 stitches for that row, and then we did the same thing for this row. So when you crochet your way back up on that 22nd row, you're gonna stop 6 stitches from the beginning of row number 21, which is easy to find because you're just going to count from the first double crochet that you've put. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's where we stopped. So all we're going to do here is chain 1, and this is going to be kind of hard because of how I have the work laying, but we're going to chain 1. I'm going to turn my work, bring it back in sight so you guys can see, and we're going to do the same exact thing. So we're going to slip stitch down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches, and then begin our double crochet. So I have finished the back part of the skirt finally, my goodness. And yeah, I am so thankful to be done with this skirt. It didn't take that long. It probably, in all honesty, is going to take me a total of like 4 hours over the course of 2 days, so it's really not that bad. But like sitting and crocheting this, I'm sitting on my floor, so my back is like freaking hurting. But anyways, now we're gonna get ready to connect the 2 pieces together. So obviously, just like any type of project that you're doing, any kind of sewing project, you want to line up your edges. So we're only going up the sides because obviously you need to be able to get into the top and get into the bottom, or get out of the bottom. So yeah, so we're just going to take the side of one piece and we're going to smush it together with the side of the other piece, making sure that everything lines up. Obviously this first piece has been stretched a little bit more, so it's not, I can't just like lay it on top and have all of the edges meet, but for the most part everything meets up really well. So I did not cut off my string yet. If you did, it's not a big deal, just tie it back onto the end and you're gonna work with it. But so that I don't have so many loose ends to tie in at the end of the project, I just left it on there. So you're going to pick up your work, and well, actually, here, what I'm gonna do is pull out that stitch. I'm going to put the work that has the working string, like the yarn that's actually still attached to the roll, I'm actually gonna put that on the top so it makes it easier for me to work with, and you'll kind of understand why I'm switching it around in just a second. But same thing, we are going to line them up corner to corner, and then I'm going to pick up my yarn, and now we're going to work on attaching the 2 pieces together. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take, because your yarn is already attached here, you want to go through, and it's gonna be kind of awkward to get through the first one, so just bear with me, but you're going to go, okay, we're gonna go through the first stitch on one and the first stitch on the second one, just like this. And we are going to do a single crochet. And what a single crochet is, you're going to yarn over and pull through the chain, and you'll end up with 2 loops on your stitch, and then you just yarn over and pull through both of those. So that creates a single crochet. And then I'm actually going to turn my work, and it'll make it easier for me to go back down the row. So I'll do it a few more times. So we're gonna go through, and if you need to like separate them to make sure, because you want to go through each and every chain of these rows or else you will have gaps. So go through chain number 2, and then on the back row go through chain number 2, pull through, pull through. All right, and then eventually you'll just be able, you won't have to pull them apart because they'll be lined up already. Okay guys, so now I have connected the side seams of the skirt. So it is completely connected on the sides like this. And all I'm going to do is go around the bottom here to clean up the edges with a double crochet stitch, but it's going to look a little bit different. It's going to create sort of a hemline at the bottom.